I know. Not to trish me.
Ooh.
Praveen says, "Hi, Justin and Carla. I want to be the first one to say this. Team is winning the French Open. Mark my words." Is that a joke?
Well, I hope to hear that. Who said that?
Praveen.
I mean, I hope he. Well, I don't hope he does, but I mean, we've talked about this for a long time. That there's been a big three for a long time, and as much as a lot of us want Djokovic to win, or a lot of us.
That's your view. I don't really like that view.
You want me to move up?
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes the room look odd.
You're odd.
I'm not odd. I think you're odd. Chicken Little.
Damn.
So my son gets to go to a football game. He said it's mandatory. He's acting like it's work.
All right, that's as good I can do. But look, I mean, there's been a big three in men's tennis for a long time, and I know a lot of us that like one particular player. We want that person to win.
Let me read these comments. Novak Djokovic is in the house. He says Djokovic rules and women's tennis sucks. So Jack Nolte says, "Would you stop hating women's tennis, please?" And Walla says, "Let's keep it classy." Jean Stewart says, "Women's tennis is more exciting nowadays." Wayne and Chia says, "Not much drama in the men's. Puts them to sleep. Boring. Today was a snooze fest. In men's, Berrettini lost in drama. 2 retirements. See, the women is more exciting." I'm reading your comments here.
Yeah, it's more exciting, again, if you like more than one or two players. If you follow the game as a whole and tend to get into it more than just one player, you will find that from the bigger tournaments, the women's and men's, say, Masters 1000s, and the majors, that the women's is a lot more dynamic. It just is. All right, hello and welcome back to another 5K tennis discussion. Let's go.
Sorry, Iron Man 1, yes.
Thanks as always, everyone, for showing up. So Carla has been telling everybody to what? Click the like button.
Please click the like button. I saw that only 7 of you clicked it, liked, and there's 22 watching. So how does that make sense? Come on, guys.
Thanks a ton to everyone. Again, it's like a family that I think over 2 years, a lot of the same names and have grown past this. A lot of you are communicating with us on the phone or text messages or Facebook or other platforms. There is a link to our family Facebook page in the comments or the description field if you look below. And there's also 5K Tennis on Facebook. There's 5K Tennis on Instagram. So you can check out what the family's up to there. By the way, every time I do a weather video, we gain, I say when I do weather videos because Carla hates it. But I'll gain like 1,000 subscribers, and the first time that we do like a tennis video, we'll drop like 100 and drop another 100. So subscribe if you haven't. We don't use a lot of YouTubers, as I've come to find out, use these things called bots. I don't know anything about a bot, but supposedly they go out and I don't know how it works, but it'll say, "Hey, I'll subscribe to you if you subscribe to me." So if you notice, a lot of these tennis channels that I've now looked at, and a lot of other YouTube channels, they have like 1,000 subscribers, but if you look at the videos they put out, they only get like 30 views. Those are the ones that use, "Hey, I'll give you something if you subscribe to my channel," or "I'll subscribe to yours if you." We haven't done that. We have just been ourselves, and the ones that are there we earned, and thank you for that. But
hello, Sean.
But if you haven't subscribed, subscribe.
Sear Hale, I've never seen him before. Welcome to the channel. Praveen, I think I've seen you a few times.
A lot of times.
Yeah.
Praveen's been here.
Comment says this team's winning the French Open. Let's make a bet, Praveen. Let's make an interesting bet. I already got a bet with somebody. Who was it that I have a bet with? That if Zverev wins, if Zverev wins or if Thiem wins, I have to wear his headband. That's right. That's the bet I have. I can't remember who it is, but there's Mondo. I don't know if it was Mondo.
You gotta write this stuff down.
Someone down. You wrote it down, but I don't know where it is.
All right. Today is Saturday, October the 3rd, 2020. If the internet cuts out and we start lagging or it stops, just hang tight. I'll start another video. It might take 5 or 10 minutes.
If he loses, I will invite you to Norway. Invite me to Pain.
Who said that? Who said that?
Praveen.
Praveen, you're in Norway?
That means you're paying. That's expensive.
No. Check this out. I am an avid skier and snowboarder. Grew up that way. Have snowboarded the last 20 years a lot. But snowboarding is second to tennis to me. I've always wanted to ride in Norway, Finland, Sweden, anywhere in that huge peninsula up there, bro. If I could get up there and ride there, I would be absolutely thrilled. It would be my dream trip, right? I would love to play a major final or play a game in a major final. My next dream would be to ride or ski in Finland, Sweden, or Norway. France, maybe. Austria, maybe. Switzerland, maybe. I was watching a guy last night skiing Le Mode in France and just absolutely shredded it up. But that's my deal. All right, I'm going to start today out with a quick fantasy team update. I'll make it quick. If you haven't followed the fantasy teams, don't worry about it. We're going to do it again soon. But in first place right now with 41 points is Team Groves. Team Groves has been making noise from the get-go. In second place is Peter Dijkstra with 40 points. In third place, there are two people tied at 39 points if Garbine Mugaruza wins, and that is Carla. What's up? Making some noise. And also Visa Relis. Now, Carla has 8 players left. No one has anywhere close to 8 players left. Some people have 4, 5, 6, but Carla has Fuciovic. She has Sinner. She has Djokovic. She has Nadal. She has Thiem. She also has Mugaruza, and she has Kvitova and Halep.
There you go. Booyah.
So most of you close to Carla, even the people that are in the lead, do not have near that amount of players left. Peter Dijkstra has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left.
I'm beating you guys.
Yeah, so Carla, as of right now, thanks to Fuciovic and to Sinner, a lot of you have him as well, but no one has Fuciovic. That's her boy. What do you call him? Iron Man.
Look, this is my dream man here, but if I had an opportunity, that would be my second, except his girlfriend's hot, so I probably had no chance.
So
who knows?
I would not be surprised if Carla beats everyone this tournament, and you can thank that to number one, her study and diligence.
Well,
here.
He actually made fun of me when I did my picks. He's like, "Oh boy, you're not gonna win. Why you chose that?"
Well, she picked a bunch of 1-point players, and generally, if you max out your 1-point players, you lose because you don't have a lot of 2-point players carrying you. But in this sense, she picked the right 1-point players and didn't lose a bunch of 2-point players that lost early. So she's done pretty well.
Mitrovic says, come to Serbia. Kapanik Mountain, $500 with ski pass for 7 days.
That's a good price. Actually, a lift ticket for a day in the U.S. is like $120 a day.
Igor Lucena says, Fuciovic looks like the Soviet villains of the 80s movies. I love him because
I want to destroy you.
I would destroy you. He reminds me of Rocky. Remember Rocky 3?
Drago. What's his name? What was his name in the movie? Victor Drago or something?
Yeah. I like those type of guys. I always like those were my type of guys.
I would destroy you.
All
right,
Did you guess Berrettini lost Carla? I told you guys I didn't think he could win anyways. I'm so shocked he got that far, really.
Look, there's a lot of people left for the tennis racket giveaway. Again, the tennis racket we were giving away is Carla's demo that we did on a play test for the racket and a string test for the strings. It's a Dunlop Strixon Revo 2.0 with a 4 1/4 grip. It has some light scratches on the head, but there are 11 people left in the racket. And again, if you're out of the fantasy team competition, I still have your scores and we'll keep up with them because if you tie with someone, that's what will tell the tale. The people alive for the tennis racket are Curling Tennis, This Guy 1000, Wild Live 1, Ronnie 147, Matt Kane, I've mentioned this before, he's won a racket from us as well, so he might have 2 in his collection. Looney Vids is still in, Gene Swart is still in, tell your mom not to get mad at me because I'm sending it to you. Team Groves is still in, Kenneth Chow is still in, and George Thomas is
Well, I think
still
a lot
in.
of us are pretty safe. A lot of you guys are safe with the Novak, Djokovic versus Thiem.
Or Halep versus...
It's a safe pick. I mean, we're not going to see... I mean, from what I've seen, the way the men's draw is just playing out, there's no competition for Novak nor Nadal.
At this point,
all those seeds are dropping like this. I mean, they're bound. This is what we want to see them face each other. I think it's going to happen.
Exactly. For this year's French Open, you might as well have gotten Djokovic and Nadal and said, hey, we're not going to have a bubble. We're not going to have anybody else. It's just you guys. You can come here and take pictures for a week and a half and then just play the final. Because that's about what you have at this point. I get it. There's Tsitsipas in there.
Busta's out. Praveen, Busta lost. No, Carreno Busta. Oh, you mean Carreno Busta? Carreno Busta won, right? He beat.
Yeah, Busta beat Bautista Agut.
Yeah, I mean.
Do I have that right?
Those guys suck. I'm sorry. They suck. That's not a competition.
Well, they don't suck.
But they're for him. Carreno Busta beat Bautista Agut. I mean, both of them they're not great on clay, and they might lose to Altamir, who beat Altmaier, who was the qualifier. I mean, they might beat him.
Now the next time we do a fantasy team, we are gonna.
Are you counting on TM? Wildlife said, Justin, are you counting on TM?
Am I counting on him? I mean, not really. I guess. I mean, again, if you put TM up against Djokovic or Nadal, I still think either one of them is the favorite. Right now, I think Djokovic is the favorite entirely. I just do. I just the way I feel. But it's nice if he would, I guess, win. But I don't really care for the guy too much. Are you a huge fan of Dominic Thiem? He's good and he's earned it. So if he wins, good for him. Mm-hmm. But I'm not counting on him per se. I really am counting on Djokovic and Nadal making the final so we can at least have some exciting men's tennis.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Someone asked a question, but I don't know. Mitrovic asked, what do you think about willing to suffer on court, especially with slow conditions and potentially grinding matches in rest of Roland Garros?
Repeat that. Let me see.
What do you think about willing to suffer on court, especially with these slow conditions and potential grinding matches in the rest of
Roland Garros? I mean, you got to do what you got to do to survive, right? Survival of the fittest.
We had 2 walkovers today,
Yeah, I mean, you got to do what you got to do.
One was due to a stomach virus. The other one was due to an ankle. So,
look. I always tell my kids, study your ass off and train your ass off because if you don't, someone else will.
Wait. Tanseem says Carla is a fan of no one apart from Bud Picker. That's not true.
I can agree with that.
No,
I can agree with that.
I love Fusovic.
Well, you like the way he looks.
I love the way he plays. I love Rublev. I love Sinner.
So you're telling me if any one of those players faced Nadal, you wouldn't be like, let's go.
Well, look, I was rooting for Djokovic at the U.S. Open, but Nadal's there, so I'm rooting for Nadal.
So you just answered your own question.
I'm rooting for Nadal, but if Nadal were to lose, I'd be happy with Rublev winning. I'd be happy with Tsitsipas winning. I'd be happy with Fusovic winning.
I call bullshit on that.
I swear. I'd be happy with I don't care for Thiem. I don't care for Schwartzman. I definitely don't like Sonego. Gaston would be a nice story. Zverev, definitely not. Korda would be a nice story. Dimitrov would be a good story. Khachanov, Djokovic.
Alas, none of that will happen.
Yeah.
But when Carla watches the Nadal match, she says...
Why do I like Bud Picker? Because he's Spanish, 1. Spaniard. 2. He's got that fire, and I like people who have fire. He's a gentleman. I mean, he's a fighter. I like fighters. Oh my God, shut up. Why do you like Djokovic?
Okay.
Because he's patriotic, he's going to say.
He doesn't give a crap or let's I want to speak freely. I'm going to speak freely.
Yeah,
he doesn't give a shit what people think about him, and he proved that in his first or second round match against Bozo with the Federer hat on, turned around backwards. That was talking smack, and he turns around, and he's like, blows him a kiss.
Neither does Nadal. So why do you hate Nadal? He hasn't done anything wrong. But you root for Kyrgios, who's a piece of shit.
I don't root for Kyrgios.
How many times have we heard this guy right here say Kyrgios? Well, he went through the same shit I did.
Let's go into jail.
Blah 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 blah.
The only thing I've shot out to Kyrgios is he's got incredible talent, and I get why he's going through his trying to find his identity.
What's your take on possibly Rublev and Stefanos?
That's a good match.
I think that's a great match.
It's a good match.
But he still has to go through Dimitrov. So we'll see. I think that would be a great match. I mean, Rublev could win.
That's a joke.
What?
He still has to go through Dimitrov?
You never know. You know what I noticed about Dimitrov, and I wrote about Dimitrov? He looks scruffy. He has all that hair. He doesn't look kept up. You know how he looks?
So he's trying to copy Benoit Pierre?
I think that, he finally said, screw this shit. It's time for me to win, and maybe he's doing fine. I don't know.
Well, good for him. He's a little late.
He was winning 6-1, 6-3, and Carballés apparently had a stomach stomach pain. He said Saturday morning, he beat Shapovalov in a fifth set.
Yeah.
He has stomach pain, and he went to warm up, and his stomach pain was even worse. He threw up, and he said it just kept getting worse and worse. And so, good opportunity for Dimitrov. You can't hate on the guy. He's not a bad guy.
So can I answer the question about I've said this before, but the reason why I have found a fondness for Novak Djokovic, it really has to do with a lot of you out there, especially viewers in Serbia. A lot of the Serbian viewers, and there's quite a few of them, messaged us personally, whether it was text message or Facebook Messenger or whatever, and they took the time to say, look, let me send you this article and read it. Watch this video and just watch it. Watch this where he's playing with the kids in the street in Serbia. Watch it, read it. And I did that. And as I did that, I began to understand him as a person and not just as a player. I've always disliked a man that hits with two hands off the backhand side. I don't care. I don't like two hands on the racket for a man. I just think it's cheesy. I think it's a little pussy-ish, if you ask me. I don't care for it. But he is one that I'll accept that with. Any other player that I really love, and as throughout their entire careers, going back since I was born in the late 70s, has had one hand on the racket. I don't care for Tsitsipas with one hand on the racket because he's so spastic and does crap that hurts people accidentally. But I like Djokovic, number one, because he's a patriot. He's a fighter. He doesn't give a shit what people think about him. He doesn't let the media come into his country like the West did when he did his Adria tour thing. He did what he did. It's his place. Don't come in my house and tell me what the hell to do. It's my place. Get the hell out if you don't like it. And then I think that's how he approaches it, and I respect that. Now, Nadal gets his middle finger and jams it up his butt and then takes the ball out of the ball boy's hands. If I was the ball boy, I'd be like, look, Judge, I freaking quit, man. I got shit on my hand.
That is not even a great excuse for those of you. Can you?
Are you serious? Have you ever been a dude with balls and you sweat all day off the tennis court and you take your underwear off? That shit's stanky, and you're sticking your finger in your ass the whole time, and then you hand it. I would have nothing of it.
Okay, so when you go and pee while you're doing lessons and you're taking out your thing and you pee, did you wash your hands before you keep feeding balls?
Come on,
it's the same shit.
I'm not digging my finger in my butt.
He's got clothes. What's worse?
But the sweat protrudes.
What's worse, Justin?
A sweaty shit finger? A sweaty poo finger. Come on, that finger is penetrating the cheeks. If the finger penetrates the cheeks, it's stinky, especially when there's sweat on it.
Anyways.
The proof is in the pudding. Literally. It's in the pudding on the finger.
Igor said, I hate Nadal, but his butt picking are OCD symptoms, Justin. That's a mental disease.
I agree. Like his water, like his Evian bottle.
Everybody's got their little issues. There's people with ADD. I don't know.
Maybe you should wear a glove.
Michael Walker says Justin likes Novak because he's scared of Nadal breaking Federer's record. Could be.
Not really. Because
Gina, I have seen Nadal in interviews. I think he's a gentleman. You know. He's a gentleman. How can you hate him? You can't hate him. I'm not hating Djokovic. I'm just saying, if he wins, I'll be happy. But of course, I'm going to root for Nadal because I've always been a Nadal fan.
But if you look at what's left of the men's draw, though, what other final would you want to see? You have Senegal.
Nadal said, "I've worked hard all my tennis career to be under good self-control with the right attitude every single point, fighting to the end, and also respecting every single opponent. Very true. Never smashed the racket. A great role model for kids to look at. So how can you hate that?
Who?
Nadal.
I don't hate him as a person. I don't like his game.
Okay,
his
fine.
forehand. Look, one of the biggest things that I have is we have a lot of students.
He's a good guy. Thank you, Carte. He's a nice guy. Whether you don't like him, sure, you might not like his style. I wouldn't teach someone his style. Definitely.
Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with whether I think he's a nice guy. I just don't care for his game. I just don't care for his game.
But you always talk about the butt picking. You never talk about Pliskova and her.
Does she dig in her butt? I don't know.
Sabalenka and all those players that you like that are annoying.
All right, first topic, and this should be a commendable topic. And this is a major thing. This is big. And if you don't like women's tennis, maybe it's not so big. But this is beyond just women's tennis. This is a huge thing.
That's a lame excuse, said Gene. By the way, Gene said it's a lame excuse that why you hate Nadal.
Look, the reason why, honestly, just to be
Alex
honest,
Couillard says Justin's going to miss Nadal when he retires.
No, I won't. The reason why, let me be honest and just get it out. When Carla and I met, she hated Roger Federer, called him a crybaby and blah, 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 blah. And her brother as well, who is a Djokovic fan, by the way. Her brother is phenomenal tennis player.
Well, he's always told me, yeah.
Okay. Hated Roger Federer, too. At that point in time, I was thrilled that a one-handed backhand male was dominating. Hence why I was really impressed with Roger Federer ever since he was late juniors. Back when he beat who was it, Mark Philippoussis. He won his first Wimbledon final against something like that. Anyway, but I was really excited about that. During that point in time, very early on in Roger Federer's career, Carla and I met, and she would absolutely just plaster me about Roger Federer, even before Nadal started picking him off.
Even before, yeah.
So then Nadal comes around and starts wiping him off the court, right? Then she would put me in the corner. Look at Crybaby. She would wake up in the middle of the night to watch the Australian Open during some of the finals. And it would be like 4 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. The Australian Open finals on. I got to go to work that day. She's waking me up. Look at your Crybaby. And he's even crying on the court. So that became the reason why I despised Rafael Nadal.
Look, and Murray's a crybaby too, so.
Anyway.
I never liked Murray. I feel bad for him, but I never liked his game.
Yeah, but that's how it began. I would have to get up at 5:30 for work. You know, I'd be dead asleep. She'd be like, wake up. I'd be like, what? She'd be like, look at the score. Your crybaby's getting whooped by my boy. Exactly what she would do. And I'd be like, damn, you woke me up for that. Anyway, all right. So the big thing is Ons Jabeur becomes the first Arab woman to make the round of 16 at the French Open ever. Now, why is that huge? Number one, because the French Open goes back second oldest to Wimbledon, if I remember correctly. I think Wimbledon was the first, something like 1860s, 1870s, 1880s.
By the way, you've got to give a hand to this.
You got to.
You got to respect that. For you to say that you don't care about women's tennis, I mean, she is opening the door for many girls in those countries that men just treat them like shit, or men think they should not do anything and women are dogs.
Gang rape them and nothing happens, you know?
Bravo to this girl. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I mean, there's no boundary or country that isolates the way that some of these Arab women are treated. You know, a lot of them can't wear, their faces freely because of religious reasons. I'm not getting into that, but a lot of them are literally beaten and burned and gang raped and everything else. And here's this Tunisian woman, and I like her a lot, by the way. I really do. And I love Ash Barty, by the way. Just saying, Ash Barty is my favorite woman on tour now. Alas, she is not here. Go, Barty, let's go. I wish I could drink a beer with her at a cricket match. Let's get down. But this young lady here, right now, should be applauded internationally.
Thank you. I'm manly. Okay, thanks, Tansy. She said, although Carla is manly, she does have girl qualities.
I love this girl.
Well, that's just, you see me in a shirt and shorts, but trust me, I'm not manly. I'm strong.
Oh, she's manly.
Which I intimidate.
She's manly.
I guess I intimidate a lot of Middle Eastern guys because they have a problem with that. But I'm not in the Middle East. Thank God. I'm in the USA.
Yeah. She's manly though. We did a video, what was it, like 2 years ago? It's on one of our playlists. There's a playlist, and I forget, Justin and Carla hitting or Justin and Carla fails or something. There's a lot of videos out there, like a year or two.
I'm serious. I'm glad that I don't live in a Middle Eastern country, because I tell you, I would have killed a lot of people. I hate what those women go through, what men put them through.
I think you would have ended up buried up to your neck in the ground and been stoned in your face. Isn't that what they do? Don't if you commit you get buried up to your neck.
Thank you, Georgie. Thank you.
And they throw stones at your face. But but here, look. Back to her manliness though. Don't let her fool you. She's very beautiful when she's dressed up, but outside of that, she's manly and she will destroy you.
That's because my father mostly raised me. My mother had 3 jobs. And my dad took it upon him. Honestly, my mom never showed me, hey, you got to wear makeup, blah, 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 blah. And I'm glad she didn't, because my skin would have been wrinkled already in my 40s. A lot of these girls, they wear all these makeup. Justin, what he sees, when I wake up, it's the same. I don't look different. He doesn't have to go, oh, my God.
What I do is I'm like, damn, look at those legs. I'm like, damn.
So my dad raised me to be a tough girl. Don't let anyone put you down. And I'm thankful that he taught me that, because I won't let anyone put me down.
Shoot, I'm thankful every time I wake up and her legs walk by me. I'm like, what? It's like 5:30 in the morning. I'm happy as a clam.
Yeah.
But look, what did your dad do as a punishment to you, Carla, one day when you didn't listen? What did he do? And it had to do with your hair.
Oh, he cut my hair. I have very long hair. And he kept telling me, if you keep going to your friend's house, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't listen to him. So I had long hair, and I do right now, but long, like really long. And he cut my hair like a boy.
All the way short.
Lesson, yeah.
Back to Jabeur though, standing ovation, first Arab woman to ever reach the second week of the French Open. commendable. Way to keep your head up. Way to fight. And I don't know how I don't know how Tunisia I don't know how Tunisia as a whole deals with this type of thing. A lot of it's country specific. You know, like I think like Iranian girls can't compete in the Olympics or how, I don't know. I may be wrong there. But great job for Tunisia as well to allow her to travel freely and to do what she is doing. And she is very good. And I would love to see Jabeur move further and to really even make bigger noise for Arab women because they deserve
Definitely.
it. They're human beings. They're wonderful human beings, highly intelligent, and to have one in the second week of the French Open, absolutely number one.
I'm laughing here. Wildlife says, "Look out, Carla gets the sandal." my kids, they make a joke about this. They're like, "Mom can aim. Like she has a sandal, and you could be running between like." Different spots, and I'll still catch you. It's a Spanish thing.
Yes, generally the Spanish women and Carla will wear sandals after we're on the tennis court, whatever, and they put a sandal on for a good reason. That way, if one of the kids jacks up or messes up, she pulls the sandal off and is like, pow, and then puts the sandal back on.
But I know how to throw it. I know how to flip it.
It's like a ninja star. Like she can hook it. So
La chancla.
It's like a boomerang.
Exactly, Alex Cuyar. La chancla.
Yeah, so the sandal will come off, and the kid's running in zigzags. She can hook it.
I'm telling you, I've watched my son. He'll like there's a divider here, and he'll run, and I'll like
hook it around the.
Whoops! He's like, how do you do that?
Freaking throat hack in the neck like the damn umpire in the Djokovic match at the U.S. Open. Be like, damn.
Yep. All right, let's go to the next thing. A lot of funny comments here. Thanks for the compliments. Some of you guys say I'm like Steffi Graf, more like Steffi Graf. Yes. When it's time to dress up and it's time, for the other, I can be very feminine.
We did a video though. Check it out.
Oh no,
we were boxing.
Oh yeah, we were boxing.
We were boxing. So Carla and I went out in the yard one day. She put on boxing gloves. I put on boxing gloves, and we went at it. We were throwing blows, and she was right there in the mix, like boom, boom, boom. She was there. That video
but again,
was out there.
I'm like that because of my dad. I'm very strong. It's hard to break down for me.
Second quick nugget. An American woman, maybe no one cares because since most people care about men's tennis, and American men's tennis is absolutely just shit on the slab.
We care more about American women's tennis
here. Yeah, because the men just are a joke. Yeah. If you want to watch men's tennis, just go to your local college and hang out with one American dude on the tennis team that's all looking at himself. Hey guys, how are you? Acts like, silver spoon fed dude. But the women aren't like that. So here's a statistic. An American woman has reached the second week of the French Open for 9 straight years. That's pretty impressive. I couldn't come up, and as little research as I did, I spent like 20 minutes on this. I could not find another country that has a 9 straight year run to the second week of the French Open. And maybe, again, I didn't spend too much time on it, but I thought it's abhorrent and it's disastrous as the hoodlum boys in America are. A bunch of lazy asses, a bunch of living on your mom's couch in the rich neighborhood until you're 45 and they finally leave you the house. They don't want to do shit. But at least the U.S. women have been making noise, hence why it's more exciting here. 9 straight years making the second week of the French Open, the American women. Bravo, but not nearly.
Daniel Collins is playing right now against Mugaruza in their 4-0, so we're not watching the match, but
it's behind us.
But it's behind us.
Do they need scores?
I can see it here.
Yeah,
Mitrovic says Carla's more like Salma Hayek. By the way, Salma Hayek to me is like Mike. If I were
whoa, we talking about my girl.
If I were a dude, I would be into Salma Hayek.
We have discussions about her. So I used to rent movies a lot, and we don't have time for that anymore. I was in a different business. We are still coaching, but I was doing that business, and then would spare time coaching. But now it's flip flopped. But I would always want to rent a movie that had Salma Hayek in it. We used to have conversations about Carla and Salma Hayek.
Yeah, there's a movie that she's in. Quentin Tarantino. I forgot the name of the movie.
A new one?
No, old movie. Quentin Tarantino was in it, and who was the other guy? George Clooney. With the vampires. Check that one out.
I don't like vampire movies.
Well, she does a good dancing scene there.
No, that was called Dogma, wasn't it?
Dogma? Not that one. No. I forgot the name of the movie.
Man, Carl, we need to go ahead and hit pause.
From Dawn to Dusk. Thank you. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Thank you, Jordan. Russian tennis women is declining. Yes, it is.
Is it really?
I think it is. Remember when we were seeing all the Russian women taking over women's tennis, and then it was China. Any women from China were taking over.
Well, I
Do
mean,
you remember that?
China made some moves. Who was the girl that won two U.S. or was it two U.S. Opens, one Australian? Li Na. Do you remember her?
Mm-hmm.
And then unfortunately for her, a lot of her winnings had to go to her husband and back to China. Wasn't that kind of a?
Lena, yes, and then she left.
And then she left. Yeah.
Michael Walker says, "I'm surprised Justin hasn't addressed Jabor's weight." We've talked about it many times.
We've talked about it.
I'm sure she knows that she has to get in shape, and she probably could be better. We've talked about that a lot.
And that's a great comment by Michael Walker. He knows me. And I thought about that, and I have thought about it with the likes of Townsend.
But with everything she's doing, I
felt like because of what she is the first. How many tens of millions of Arab women are there? Or Arab women? There's millions of them, and she's just one. Mm-hmm. So I felt like mentioning her weight didn't fit the narrative. But Michael Walker, by the way, Michael Walker, if you haven't communicated with him here on Cam Williams's channel. A really vast tennis mind that goes back generations. Much smarter than I and tennis, and can take it way further back than either one of us. And it's quite admirable, honestly, to tell the tale. But yes, I agree with you. There is a problem there. Hence why I don't think she'll win the tournament. And it should be addressed. But right now, I'm going to just leave today for the positive, and then we'll talk about that maybe tomorrow.
Lena, someone mentioned, William Chia said they're making a movie on Lena, and she was awesome. Yeah, Carteri, she was awesome. I love Lena. I love watching her.
She was amazing. Beautiful girl, too.
Talking about Lena, there is one girl, Zhang. I read where she almost was not able to play at the French Open. She was waiting for a visa. And they gave her the visa 2 days before the French Open started. She's beaten Keys, Cornet, Burrell, and now who's her next opponent? She's got a tough match. Kvitova. Good for her.
Can anyone name before Michael Walker the two girls that Lena beat to win her majors? I think one was Sam Stosur.
Matt and Rodrigo.
Was one of Lena's finals against Sam Stosur, and was another one against Schiavone?
No, Schiavone won the French Open.
No, but what I'm saying is who did Lena beat to win her two majors? Was it Sam Stosur in one of them? I think didn't Lena beat Sam Stosur?
Alex said Sivakova and Schiavone. Was it really?
I thought it was Schiavone and Stosur.
Abshik says Azarenka, Schiavone, Sivakova. I'm getting Azarenkas, and I'm getting Sivakovas, and I'm getting Schiavones.
Michael Walker's going to come out with the knowledge. I can assure you. But it was, I thought it was Stosur, and I thought it was Schiavone. That was my guess, nothing more than a guess.
Well, let us know which one it is. Jack Nolte says, who is the best American tennis player right now? Men's or women's, Jack Nolte?
Yeah, and men's, just take your pick, because they're all the same.
Women, best American women tennis player right now. Still Serena.
Well, here's the thing that's questionable too. Osaka had a choice to pick a country.
Yeah, to me, when I look at her, because she's trained, I know she looks different, but I'm talking about we all look different. Americans are not real Americans. We all come from different backgrounds.
Yeah, we're mutts.
You can't say I'm an American.
We're mutts.
I mean, we're all from different countries. Our parents came here. We were born here. For her, when I look at her, she trained here. To me, she's American.
I mean, my ancestry 3 generations ago was German and Swiss.
But she's the best one, Carteri. Serena is over, but what does that tell you? She's still at the top. If we let's look at the WTA.
I mean, you can
look at the WTA.
You can mention Sophia Kenin, but she's so bratty, And to me, I
forgot about Sophia. Okay.
I was really hoping Sophia Kenin.
So right now,
look, what has Sophia Kenin done?
Sophia Kenin's number 6 in the world, so she would be your best American. Then Serena's 9, and then after that's Madison Keys at 16, and then Risk at 23, Brady at 25, 29 Nisimova, 34 Stevens, and then Coco Gauff at 51. I would have to say Kenin and Serena right now.
Now, respectively on that list, is there any other country in there that has as many people in the top 50 that you just named? I mean, that's quite a few in the top 50.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is there another country?
I mean, you've got Sabalenka and Azarenka from Belarus.
Right now, you've got Pliskova, who's 4, who's Czech.
Yeah.
Kvitova is 11, who's Czech.
Yeah.
Vondrusheva is 19, who's Czech.
Okay.
Muchova, who's 26, who's Czech.
Good.
And Strykova, third. So you've got quite a few Czech players there.
Good for them. And much smaller of a country, population size and geographical distance, right?
Then you got Sabalenka, Azarenka.
From Belarus.
Yep. And then that's all I see from Belarus.
So per capita, I guess you could say that the best women's program right now is in the Czech Republic. Is that? I mean,
what I'm
much
seeing.
Smaller per capita, much smaller country, much less gross domestic product (GDP). Much less budget, surely least amenities in terms of tennis, and still has the same amount of women. So I wonder how the Czech Davis Cup team is doing. Is the Czech, or not the Davis Cup, but what is it, the Fed Cup for women? I wonder how the Czech Fed Cup is doing, because they should be doing well.
Yeah. All right, so I guess it's Schiavone Silvakova.
Great call, and I was wrong.
Yeah. JJ Team Bro say JJ Wolf looks like a good upcoming player.
I don't know.
That's the guy with the mullet.
I think so.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the U.S. men, but again, I can't explain it any more than this: is that the even the boys tennis players right now and the juniors, and that's where tennis players come from. I can't explain it. It's just like the boys and the men here are different than they used to be. Not the older ones, not most people my age and older. But the younger ones, it's like they have no fight. If someone gets in their face, they walk away.
It's different.
They're very self-involved.
Yeah, it's different. Talking about the Czech players, though, they used to be Czechoslovakia, right, back then?
Yeah, split.
And then I remember
in Yugoslavia. Yeah,
I remember, but it was Czechoslovakia.
Yeah,
I remember when I was a young girl and I was training and I was good at tennis. I mean, my dad almost sent me to Czechoslovakia with this family so I could train over there. I wonder what would have happened. I don't know. But then the country split.
I wouldn't have met
so
you.
maybe I would have gotten stuck there because the country just split.
Well, I'm glad you didn't go. I'm glad you didn't go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you didn't go. But yes, the boys.
Carteri, that's mean.
Look, the boys.
That's what Carteri said.
What? Schiavone was as butchy as they come. Yes, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot more of them out there that were the same way. But the boys and young men here in the U.S., at least the ones that play the game of tennis, for that matter, are generally silver spoon fed. They turn 16 and they're given a nice car. I was cutting grass trying to get my first car. Cutting it, got an old ass $500 car that broke down as soon as I pulled it out some barn or something. I mean, the kids now, they're indulged in their phone. They look at themselves. Everything that you do is about themselves. They have to have all this nice
Team
gear.
Grove says U.S. players seem to only focus on a big serve and forehand.
That's it. Exactly. That's it.
You said it well.
That's it. That sums it up.
Why did Martina leave Czech Republic? Well, they ended become I know weren't they communists? I mean.
That's a great question for a lot of the Serbian viewers. Mm-hmm. The question was, why did Martina Navratilova defect in a way to the U.S.?
Yeah.
Now, I won't get into this here. I don't know too terribly much about it, but she did have a different orientation sexually. That's not my problem.
I could care less about that.
Yeah, some of our very good friends are.
I don't care. I got many friends.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of those friends are seemingly a lot more genuine and talk less behind your back and are more friendly and warm than most of the other ones. So I would say that with almost 100% credibility, I feel a lot more comfortable at least telling my secrets to those than not. And I shouldn't even have brought that up. It has no relevance in the question. But the question was, why did she, in a sense, defect? I don't know the answer to that. I know that Yugoslavia no longer exists. I know that Czechoslovakia no longer exists. You have the Czech Republic, you have Slovenia, you have Slovakia. I don't know the answer to that question, but it's a good question. Maybe some of the Serbian viewers can answer it, because with the likes of Dusan Dramakanin, who's in Slovenia, with the likes of Stefan Nizovic, who am I missing here? I think Igor Lucena. There's a lot of very intelligent Serbian viewers in terms of geopolitics and history that are much brighter than me at answering that question.
By the way, I see 47. I'm sorry, I'm going to keep bugging you guys. And only 24 likes. Those that you haven't, please hit the like.
Or hit a thumbs down, because
whatever.
I did read that it doesn't matter if you leave a thumbs down or a thumbs up. They mean the same. So if you think you're being mean to someone hitting a thumbs down, it really doesn't even matter.
Alex, you said it. Alex Couillard, you said it well. Looks don't matter in sports. looks don't help you to be successful.
Exactly.
That's right. It's your fight.
Exactly.
One of the players I admire the most, honestly, like when I watched her as a young girl, was Martina Navratilova.
One of my favorite players ever.
My dad loved her. He loved the way she played. I mean, we would sit down. He would make me watch her matches. He didn't like Chris Evert at all. He loved the way Martina played. He's like, watch her, Carla. Watch her slice. Watch, he loved that she was very strong, and she just brought something different in those days.
And did it for a very long time. Mm-hmm. Very long time, and did it well.
Yeah. Collins first set 7-5, and I picked Mugaruza to win the French Open.
A lot of you need Mugaruza to win this match.
Igor, where are you from? He says, me Serbian. Sorry, I didn't get what you say. Are you Serbian, Igor? I don't know. Igor Luceno, is he?
I was indicating that some of our viewers that are Serbian are very intelligent with the history of that part of the world. Mm-hmm. I know that I've been in personal.
He's from Brazil.
Oh, so Igor's in Brazil.
Yes.
Interesting.
Lucena.
So he's what, a Pele fan? Is it Pele, soccer player?
Oh, Pele. Yeah.
There you go.
St. Monica South. Yeah, you are now, and that's done. I'm not sure what they're talking about. Okay, let's go to the next thing.
All right, next thing I have that pops up real quick, and this should be quick. But Alexander, a.k.a. Sasha, I guess Sasha is somehow short for Alexander, I don't know. But Alexander, or Sasha, the puppy hater Zverev, says he will need to play a little bit better to win the French Open. I thought it was kind of funny. Does anyone think if Sasha Zverev, a.k.a. the puppy hater, do you think that if he plays just a little bit better, he'll win the French Open? What do you think will happen if Zverev matches up with Djokovic? What do you think happens if Zverev matches up with Rafael Nadal? Now, better yet, what do you think if Zverev matches up with Jannik Sinner? I think Jannik Sinner can upset him. Let's say he gets through that and Zverev has to face more than likely Nadal. Do you think a little bit better is going to help him? What about after that? And he has to face Schwartzman. He won't get there because Nadal will stop him. But I think Sinner will stop him. So I'm tired of hearing about, Zverev's this great thing. He made the final at a just stupid U.S. Open, in my opinion. Very lackluster U.S. Open. But he just needs to play a little bit better now to win the French. Do you agree, Carla?
Yeah. Rodrigo said, I'm from Brazil and I don't like soccer at all.
Good point.
I don't like soccer. I can tell you I'm Spanish and I don't like soccer at all either.
Is it
just saying?
Is it that you don't like it because you don't know it, or is it that you don't like it because you know that you don't really know that much about it? Now, Carla's dad was a pro-level soccer player. Your dad didn't pick up tennis until later in life, and he's a really good tennis player. Her dad is a natural athlete. That's where Carla gets the arms from. That's where Carla gets the legs from. Your dad's 64 now, mm-hmm. and his legs are like boom, and his arms are like boom, and he's rock solid. But I'm surprised that you don't like soccer because your dad lives for soccer.
I don't.
I mean, I don't care where we go. If we're on the tennis court playing...
Carla lost her Latina card? No. I can dance salsa. I can dance merengue. I can cook Spanish food. I love Spanish food.
Then speak Spanish for the rest of the show.
No, I just don't like soccer. My dad used to train us. He would take us to a soccer field. And he said, in order for you to volley better, I want you to be the goalie. And I'm kicking. So we would have to block. And he would teach us how to move, the ball back and forth. He said, it's great footwork. Soccer players have the best footwork. I just never enjoyed watching it,
Your dad is one of the only people that I can go out on the tennis court with and spend all day out training, coaching, hitting, whatever. Mm-hmm. And he will have a soccer or a football, however you say it, will have a metaphor about how Messi trains or how Pele trained. Or
who's Barbacoa? I don't know who Barbacoa is.
He will always have a different metaphor to compare something on the tennis court to the soccer field. And he does it very well. I do the same thing with boxing. I love boxing. Again, I grew up a tennis player, but have played a lot of other sports and through high school. I guess, on varsity teams in high school. So at fairly high levels, boxing, skiing, snowboarding, surfing, anything on a board I always did, skateboarding. But soccer,
I've never heard of that food. Somebody asked me, what's your favorite Spanish food? I like a lot of things. I mean, I love arroz con gandules, mondongo, mofongo. There's a lot of things. Arroz,
carne asada,
melanesa. I don't like tacos. That's unconsidered.
That's Americanized.
There's a lot of things I eat that are Spanish food. There's a lot of variety. I love plátanos. A lot of plátanos. I mean, I lived in Dominican Republic for a year and Puerto Rico for a year.
Internationally, generally, if you go to
ceviche is good.
Ceviche is wonderful, yeah.
Peruvian ceviche. I don't like the Mexican ceviche. Peruvian ceviche.
She makes ceviche often.
Yeah. Do you watch telenovelas? Yeah. One of my favorite telenovelas was Ruby. I love Ruby and Marimar. All the ones that Thalia. I used to watch a lot of. And he would make fun of me. Why are you watching that?
I like watching anything Spanish on TV because the girls are smoking. Like even the weather, the girls that do the weather on the Spanish news, you're like, damn. They go through the whole weather report and you're like, what was the weather like? Because you're just studying the girl doing the weather.
You must watch Univision Marimar.
Yeah, that. I'll be like, damn.
Do you have I tried Indian chicken curry? Yes, I used to live. My coach was from Trinidad and Tobago, and they made a lot of curry. Definitely, we ate curry. Yes.
Shoot, I need to go watch the weather on Univision. Damn, like hurricane coming. You're tracking the hurricane. You like, wait a minute, where?
Betty La Fea. Do you guys remember Betty La Fea? Was one of my favorite. Esmeralda. Yep.
Look, what you get if you go, at least here in the United States, for the most part. Tell me if I'm wrong. Mm-hmm. If you go to a quote unquote Spanish restaurant or quote unquote Mexican restaurant to get Mexican or Spanish food, and it's relatively affordable. If you want to take your family out and spend less than $100, and you go to a place that's Spanish
Marisol, yes,
or Mexican, it's generally just greased over bullshit. It's like fried flour, fried this, fried that, and the fat ass Americans lap it up. Mm-hmm. But if you go to like Southern California, and it's in Carteria in Southern California where I grew up, if you go to places that are more, I hate to say it, but more expensive, you don't get the greasy, nasty stuff that you get in your Americanized Mexican food. So
by the way, if any of you guys want to send me pupusas, which I love with queso or frijoles, please send them to me because I've been dying to eat that and they don't make that over here.
Tamales, real tamales are really good.
I love tamales, yeah.
If you go though to a quote unquote Mexican or Spanish restaurant here in the US, you basically go in and order your share of fried greasy something. That's not what Spanish food is. Spanish food is not that way. It's just Americanized because Americans love to lap up grease. Mm-hmm. Am I right?
Oh, you're right.
All right.
All right, let's talk about tennis.
I got one more nugget before we talk about the match.
Go ahead.
One of my favorite players of all time, even though he did hit with two hands, and this was long before the dominance of Djokovic, and I know you liked him as well, and he is Serbian. Okay? Janko Tipsarevic.
Yes,
I
loved him.
I always had a soft spot for Tipsarevic. He was one of the early guys to show us tattoos on the court. I have tattoos everywhere.
He was hot.
And I love tattoos. Something about them, and my parents hate that I have them, and I've never put them below my sleeve line because my mom will be like, what the hell? And I coach. And besides my arms and the lower part of my legs, I have tattoos everywhere. And Tipsarevic, I felt, was very much like me because he didn't really care about that. He was one of the early guys to blaze the tattoo on the court, right? Mm-hmm. And I liked him for that. Two-handed backhand, didn't care for it, but I liked him for that. So Janko Tipsarevic makes a statement, and I read this article just before doing the show, so I wrote it down. Okay? So Tipsarevic says that Novak Djokovic has been and is the strongest of the big three, fact, period. So what Janko Tipsarevic says is that Novak Djokovic has been and is the strongest of the big three no matter what happens. Do you agree with that and do you disagree with that? Now, when I hear the words big three, not terribly long ago, it was called the Big Four because Andy Murray was all in. So Andy Murray gets injured, now it's the Big Three. So don't forget it used to be called the Big Four. Some people called it the Big Five with Wawrinka in the mix, and some people called it the Big Six when Del Potro won a U.S. Open, right? Mm-hmm. So anyway, do you agree with Janko Tipsarevic? Is Djokovic the strongest of the Big Three through the whole deal?
He's the most complete package.
I would agree.
I would have to agree with that. See, and I'm a Nadal fan, but I would have to agree with that.
The reason why I agree with it is what happened with Nadal jumped on the scene. It was hitting heavy topspin to his one-handed backhand. Mm-hmm. Federer wasn't so hot anymore, right? Or at least when he played him.
Yeah.
Was Djokovic ever a victim of that? No. He never was victimized by Nadal's heavy topspin to his backhand. To me, the amazing
thing from Djokovic is the way he returns. It's very tough to return that way. I mean, he returns.
It's incredibly returned.
The way he returns, he makes your serve look like nothing. And that's where he has the advantage over the other two.
Yeah. Federer was victimized by that, and it hurt to watch. I admit it hurt really bad. when you hit the one-handed backhand, you're slicing a lot over there. When it gets up high, you're kind of blocking it a little bit. If you're not reading it well, you're really caught in a pickle. And then you're setting up a 1-2 punch for the server that's making that happen, especially if you're serving over there and kicking it up high. Really tough for the return game, and it opens up the court going away. Federer has the most majors. I think he is the most clean player to watch. I think he is the most fluid player to watch. But I do think that Djokovic is the more complete package, regardless of how the count ends, and holds that down on top of Nadal, Djokovic, Wawrinka, Murray, Del Potro, however you want to call it.
Yeah, he has the complete package. If I could teach anyone, a game would be his game.
You would want to teach that.
Absolutely.
I just wish he had the one hand on the backhand, but I can accept it. I'll go with it here.
All right, we're going to talk about today's matches.
Let's roll.
Okay, so we'll start with the women.
Let's go.
Because they deserve that.
Ladies first. Let's go,
Jabeur
Jabeur.
beats Sabalenka. Anyone shocked? Anyone shocked?
No.
We did say Jabeur has the variety, He has more variety. I mean, Jabeur has more variety, so she would beat Sabalenka.
Muguruza's up 2-0 in the second.
Let's go Mugaruza, because I picked you.
I got the score behind me. And if Muguruza wins and you get another win out of Fusovic, you will beat everybody in fantasy.
Who did Federer have to overcome?
Nadal.
Nadal had to overcome first.
That's about it. Now Bandian early.
Alex says Sabalenka with way too many errors. Again, she's a one gear person. So Collins Mugu's playing. Ferro beats Tig, ends Tig's run. Good for Ferro. Ferro is from where? France. So that's good.
Good for them.
I have to watch her play. Kenny.
So France has two women. France has Garcia and Ferro moving into the second week. Vamos.
Kenin beat Barrow. Okay.
Expected.
Kvitova beats Fernandez, the young girl. Kvitova was down 1-5.
1-5.
And there was set point against her, and she came back to win that match.
Let's go.
And kind of looks like the young girl faded after she came back from...
Or choked a little bit there.
Well, because think about it. If you have someone 5-1, you're serving for the set. They come back, win 7-5. Second set usually goes by quickly. But it was 6-3. It was still tight.
Yeah, but now you just mentioned up 5-1. Who else in this tournament was up 5-1... Are down 1-5 until something shitty happened. Siegemund with the double ball bounce against Mladenovic in the first or second round? I forget what round it was. And here Siegemund is beating Martic moving forward. Does anyone think if Siegemund would have been a good sportswoman or a sport that had good sportsmanship and would have admitted that the ball bounced twice, that maybe she wouldn't be here? I mean, that was a set point.
Maybe. There's a lot of ifs and blah, blah, blah.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I'm just saying.
So Kvitova will face Zhang. I think Zhang will have a tough time with Kvitova. I've always loved Kvitova, especially her story. Not always loved her. When she first came out, I didn't really like her. But then I warmed up to her.
Yeah.
And then, I realized, man, she's a cool girl. She's a fighter. She screams a lot. Sometimes screams like somebody's choking her. But...
Zhang, I can tell you what. If Zhang is up 5-1 against Kvitova, she's not gonna drop 7 games in a row. Yes. It's not gonna happen. The thing about whether it's a Japanese player or whether it's anyone from a country whose culture is to fight to the death, I can assure you that they're not gonna be so easy to give up a couple of set points.
Ostapenko goes down to Badosa. Sorry, Michael Walker. I think Wildlife said she finally hit reality again.
All right.
Tough. Badosa Siegmund. I don't know. This is a wide open draw here. I mean, this is an opportunity for those that never won a slam
to take one.
And Kvitova is searching for another, and so is Kenin. And Mugaruza.
Look, I'm just guessing at this point that in this half...
Kvitova doesn't scream at all. Are you kidding me, Sinisa?
Yeah, Kvitova...
Have you seen her when she goes,
will.
Ah!
Yeah, Kvitova will definitely scream on you. She's not a huge grunter. I think that's her... Kvitova's not a huge squealer or grunter like Azarenka or Sharapova or Schiavone or any of those girls. But when she gets done and she fires herself up, she will...
Yeah, she doesn't do it. It's just when she wins points.
Yeah, no, good comment.
Right
you're correct.
We didn't talk. Sakari goes down. She lost to Trevisan.
She lost to Trevisan.
And Trevisan will meet Bertens, who beat Sienakova. We didn't talk about that.
All right, let's look at the women's 4th round matchups. Let's do this on the fly, okay? Real quick, and we'll shift to the men's. Jabeur, if she played Collins, who wins?
I think Jabeur would have a good chance just because of the variety again.
Jabeur, if she plays Mugaruza, who wins?
I think Mugaruza will beat her because she can adapt to that.
Ferro versus Kenin.
I've never seen Ferro play.
I think Kenin will win. Hopefully she doesn't snatch any more towels out of the ball people's hands because that's just pathetic. Kvitova, Zhang, who you got?
Kvitova.
Siegemund and Badosa.
Toss up.
I'm pulling for Badosa because I really think if that shady, the shadiness of being able to admit the ball bounced twice. Now I get it where Siegemund came from. It's not her responsibility to call it. That's the chair umpire.
Curling tennis is Siegemund.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Okay.
Halep, Swiatek, who you got?
I've got Halep.
Trevisan and Bertens, who you got?
Bertens.
Svitolina, Garcia, who you got? Pirenko or Podoroska and Krejcikova, who you got?
I don't know.
Tough call.
Never seen them play.
I hope that Muguruza does win this match because I really hope Carla wins the fantasy team. She hasn't won one in a long time. Remember, we even if she wins, that doesn't take away from the top two finishers that we will send either $20 to $20 US.
A lot of guys say Podoroska.
We'll send it
I'll
to
go
you.
for Argentina, Podoroska.
Yeah, let's go. Either way. Mm-hmm. All right, men's side. Let's jump into the men's.
Djokovic destroys his opponent 6-0, 6-3, 6-2.
Do we have to talk about that?
No, we don't. This is what I'm telling you guys. But I will talk about his outfit because Rahesh always says, Carla, look at the outfit. Look at the Lacoste outfit. It's beautiful. Love the shoes. Novak, if you're out there, send me your shoes. I'll wear them.
Yeah, give me a vibration dampener. We'll take that too.
Yeah, I love the shoes. I'll wear it. Come on.
Yeah, he dresses very nicely. Again, with his perfect tennis body. Djokovic, I don't want to talk about the match because the match is just ridiculous. But Djokovic, again, we talked about this yesterday. If you want to emulate a tennis player's physique, if you want to tell a student how to have a perfect tennis body, look at Novak Djokovic, and you need to look no farther. There's no lopsided muscles. In other words, his playing side is not half as big as his left side. Ask Roger Federer. Look at his right and left. It looks like toothpick man, and okay, you got some muscles over here. I mean, Nadal's fine. Nadal's gone through some changes. Nadal was, a little skinnier, then he got really big.
And then he was really big.
Do you guys remember the 2010 U.S. Open when Nadal was playing in all black, as a lot of people play at night at the U.S. Open at night? The 2010 final. If you go to the 2010 final and look at Nadal when he walked out, I mean, damn. I wouldn't be shocked if there were some steroids being injected then, because
it was like veins were popping out.
He was like. He was really big, and not too terribly long after that, didn't he kind of go away a little bit? He kind of disappeared after that. Mm-hmm. So Nadal went from...
Novak looks like he may blow away in the wind.
No, I don't think so. No, Novak's 6'1", right? You see about 6'1".
I would love to know his diet so I can be lean like him.
Well, he eats no gluten. I
can't eat like that because it's expensive.
It's expensive.
I can't eat like that. No.
I know Nadal. I mean, not Nadal, but Djokovic does not eat gluten.
Plant-based. They say plant-based.
Yeah, I think he's vegan as well. I think he's vegetarian or vegan, one of the two. And I know
again, Novak, if you're out there and you want to send me your nutritionist, and they want to cook the food for me, I'll eat like you do just to be lean.
I mean, I agree. I wish I could afford to eat like that.
What's the usual tennis diet?
It's good, depending on what
don't
day
eat
of the week.
shit.
Yeah.
Don't smoke, don't drink, don't eat shit, and don't do drugs.
Yeah, my dad has a slogan for that, and I think...
No, I don't want to look like that. You're right, Team Girls. I don't want to be that lean. I just want to shed like 15 pounds.
Look, my dad has a slogan for this, and my dad's 82 anyway, and lives for... tennis. He still does. But he had a slogan for it and had a stamp made. Every time he would send like a letter out, he would stamp the envelope. You remember it? Mm-hmm. And it's something like this. Don't eat slop, don't breathe crap, and don't drink shit. Something like that. And you'll have the proper tennis diet. So in other words, anything with bullshit in it, don't eat it and you'll be all right.
Yeah.
So I guess that's like Djokovic. No gluten, organic, and mostly plant-based.
His wife is super skinny though.
She's too skinny.
She's too skinny. Sometimes I want to tell her, here, eat. Here's a burger. Eat. Please.
She looks like Bones.
Please eat.
Yeah.
Because I could break you, like, in half with my finger.
Yeah. You get thumper, she might, like...
Yeah, she might fly away.
She's
too skinny.
Karen Khachanov, your boy. Now, she likes him, too. She loves Fusovic, and she loves Karen Khachanov. Do you not?
Yes.
Okay.
But I don't like his game.
Again, he's got two hands on the racket.
No, it's that ugly forehand.
Very Tiafo-ish.
It's like...
Roboto.
It's awful to look at.
I'm
serious, Igor. You want to tell her, please eat. You know, because
she's very thin.
She's just so thin.
Very
and when
thin.
you get older, you got to remember, when we get old, our body sags, right? So everything becomes loose. The skinnier you are, your face starts coming down, and it makes you look older.
Now, to be honest, our 8-year-old daughter, Gabriella, is the same way.
So skinny. And I tell her, please eat.
Out of our 5 children, Jonathan's ripped up, Chris is ripped up, Liliana's ripped up, Gabriella's really skinny, and then our little 4-year-old is already just a beast mode.
Come, por favor.
But Gabriella's very picky. Gabriella only likes to eat mangoes and avocados. I mean, besides that, she really doesn't. You can't get her to eat that much. If she has an avocado, she'll eat it. If she has a mango, she'll eat it. But outside of that...
I tell her, I said, you got to eat, because when you're hitting the ball, it's like you got no energy. My 4-year-old hits harder.
And when we really try. I don't buy her shit. I'm not going to buy her candy. We never have candy. Well, when we eat well, you know, I mean, on our budget, but
it's horrible.
It's hard for her.
I want her to eat.
We can make black beans, frijoles de negro, whatever you want to call it. We can make grilled chicken or whatever, salad, whatever, tomatoes, fresh vegetables, you name it, we can get it. But unless it's like an unless it is a mango or an avocado, she generally will just not eat it all, and it leads to her being very thin. She's very tall. She's like my height. Everyone else in the house, well, Jonathan's tall, but everyone else is, normal. But Gabriella for 8 is very tall. So maybe it's that she's just super tall. Like
she'll be like Pushkova.
Yeah.
Alex Andaga said, does muscle affect power in tennis?
It can make you play robotic. Let's name some of these big muscular players. Look at Sakari. I think Sakari slimmed down a little bit muscular wise. Yeah. Just last year, Sakari would hit forehand. I think Tiafoe has a lot of problems with being too jacked up in a way. He's got another robotic. You don't want to be so muscular, because it tightens you up. Sometimes it's hard to loosen up on a cooler day. You want to be more of a flowing linguine than some stacked piece of cattle.
Jack Nolte says sometimes people are naturally skinny. That's true. Wildlife said, as a kid, I was not allowed to leave the table until I ate. Me too. My dad would make me steaks every Friday, and he would say, "Eat. Build those muscles up.
Get it done."
T-bone steak, boom, he would put it in. And then he would have one day for seafood, just all seafood.
Now, both your dad and my dad had, I'm not speaking on myself, but my dad would make sure my sister sat up straight at the table. Make sure she sat up straight with shoulders back. Then your dad put a book on your head.
Yes, if he saw me sitting like this, he would
yell at me. He would put a book on your head, make you sit up. So I think, that's etiquette and manners. I think, that's another problem with the world these days is, you see these kids these days, they're eating like this, and I think manners is another thing that we lack in the world that we live in today.
Yeah, my dad would go like this. He'd be like this. He's like, I want space there. He's like, I want here. I was like, we're not putting the elbows. He's like, fork, knife, cut properly. He's like, you better sit like this. Yeah, it was a nightmare to have dinners.
And as boys, we were always raised, if a woman walks in the room, if you're sitting down, you will stand up. And then it's not until the woman either sits down or leaves the room where you will sit down again. I think we were at someone's house that visited here, that guy Thomas or whatever. And the girls were standing up and doing whatever. And my dad and I would be standing the whole time. And he'd be like, why don't you guys sit? And we would be like, no, your daughters are still standing. We're not going to sit until they sit. And he was like, well, go sit because they're doing this. And it was like, no, we'll just stand. Thank you. We'll wait until they sit. We stood for like an hour waiting for him to finish. Did it happily, right? But that's one of those things. People don't open the doors for ladies anymore. They just open the door, walk in, and let it slam in their face. There's a big difference this day and age in the world in manners than how it used to be.
Definitely. All right. So Djokovic, Khachanov. I think Djokovic will win this in 3, honestly.
If he lets Khachanov have a set, I think it would be the first one. Maybe slow to start, but Djokovic will win this match. You can count on that.
Definitely.
Carreno Busta and Altmaier. By the way, Altmaier is a qualifier, by the way. When we do the next fantasy team, I will be putting in a 9th player. So we've been playing with 8 players on the men's and 8 players on the women's. Next time I do it, or we do it, it will be 9 players on the men's and 9 players on the women's. And your 9th player, where 3 points per win, will be either a qualifier or a wild card. So tell me that wouldn't have paid off to have this guy on your team, and he's moving into the 4th round.
Team Groves, I agree with you. I think people do exaggerate. He says people exaggerate Nadal's physique. He's naturally muscle-bound from a young age, so he's not stiff. Agree. I don't think his muscles are exaggerating.
In 2010, it was questionable.
It was questionable.
2010, it looked like he was shooting up some shit. Just saying. I'm not saying he
Maybe.
did, but it damn sure looked like it.
My 4-year-old, I know he's gonna be a muscular dude.
Yeah, 4-year-old's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
His legs are like boom. His arms are like bow. His chest is like.
Oh
what?
look, so they're that's Michael Walker sent me a picture.
That's a good picture.
Tiafo.
That's a good picture.
Right there.
Yeah, and Tiafoe's a fun guy. Again,
He's also muscular.
His forehand is just so robotic, but he is a fine trimmed athlete. He is definitely rock solid for sure.
Yep. Fusovic and Rublev. You know I'm gonna be rooting for Iron Man.
If Fusovic wins this match against Rublev, Carla will finish in first place against all of you, and she will do that with ease. So you guys want Fusovic to lose here. I think Rublev will probably win because he dismissed Anderson in straight sets with relative ease. Mm-hmm. So Rublev's playing well, but so is Fusovic. What happened with Montero? Did he withdraw?
He won in 3 sets.
He won straight?
Yeah, he won straight.
So, hey, a good matchup here. I hope Carla does win that. Now, again, if Carla wins the fantasy team, it doesn't matter. The two top finishers behind her will still win the prizes.
Don't say that, Gene. No.
What?
He says, I hope Iron Man loses. Dimitrov and Tsitsipas face each other. Both of them had walkovers. They were both up 2 sets, and then their opponents, one was because of the ankle, Carballas, and the other one, Carballas was the stomach, and then Badin was the ankle. So they both had walkovers.
I hope Dimitrov wins. I do. Not a lot of hope. I'm not like counting on it, going to lose sleep over it, but just not a Tsitsipas fan. Again, his antics, his spastic nature. The last time I cared to watch Tsitsipas play is the match that bless you, the match that we were watching, and Tsitsipas managed to hurt his father. I had enough there. I wish him well. He's surely a good young man, but lost interest in his game right there. I hope Dimitrov wins, and I could care less what happens with Tsitsipas. If you're that old and you're still acting like a spoiled freaking brat, then just get lost, man. No one needs you.
Wildlife says, what do you guys think of Hawkeye disagreeing with the umpire's interpretation of the mark so many times at this tournament?
I have seen some of this. I think that the genuine mark on the clay is important. However, there are times where the ball will land, and because of the way it's spun or the way the clay kicks up, it'll make it look like the ball hit the line, but it really didn't. Hawkeye and the other thing, Fox 10, which is another company that's competing with cameras, so there's almost zero room for a margin of error. Now, there is some margin for error when they do the Fox 10 because the ball, when it hits, if this is a flat surface, the ball comes, I'll hold my hand open. When the ball hits, it flattens out, and then it expands back up. So a lot of the
young Nadal was muscular.
So a lot of the margin error has to do with that. The way when the ball hits and then the ball flattens out for a second and then it bounces back off. If you put it in time lapse photography, the ball will hit the round part of it, and after that it will collapse almost nearly flat. You get what I'm saying? And then it'll spring back to life. So the question is does the flatness of the ball as it makes impact with the ground and then some of it touches the line, is that making the shot in? Is that hitting the line? Now, the Hawkeye version of it takes the computer animation with artificial intelligence and gets the trajectory of the ball and follows that trajectory and then makes an impact. So, what happens there? Well, we have the wind, we have the compression of the ball, we have spin on the ball, we have altitude wherever you are. So a lot of things come into play there, hence why there's a margin of error. Now, on the camera one, the Fox 10, the British version of Hawkeye that are competing with one another, you have the compression of the ball. So the AI version doesn't figure that in, but this one can see it and they call it in. So, there's a.
So people basically.
So what do you do?
Most of the viewers say we do need it, and while I said I don't care if Hawkeye or Fox 10. By the way, let me show you this picture that Michael sent me.
Why wouldn't we have umpires in professional baseball?
He reminds me of my son. Look at his body. At a young Nadal. Look at his arms already. Even Federer had legs back then.
Who? Justin Jr.?
Justin Jr. reminds me of Nadal.
Let me see.
The way they're built.
Yeah, our little guy is. Granted, he's 4.
But he's built the same way.
All right, men's fourth round run through. We're gonna do it rapidly. Sonego, Schwartzman, who you got?
Schwartzman, I can't stand. So
Gaston and Thiem, who you got?
Thiem.
Zverev, the puppy-ater, who you got against Sinner?
Sinner.
Korda, Nadal.
Nadal.
Djokovic versus Khachanov.
Djokovic.
Carreno Busta versus Altmaier.
Altmaier.
Fusovic, your boy Iron Man versus.
I mean, I won't be mad if Fusovic lost. I like Rublev too, but I'm gonna root for Fusovic.
But if you want to win fantasy team, you need
Fusovic,
Fusovic to
yeah.
win. Or center, because you got center as well.
Yeah.
Dimitrov against Tsitsipas.
Tsitsipas.
I'm gonna pull for Dimitrov just because of Tsitsipas is just the way he acts. He acts like a little kid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I laugh a lot. The way I was built at 4 is totally different how I was developed as an adult.
Our 4-year-old's jacked up. I showed him a picture of him.
My 4-year-old is strong.
You ever seen a picture of him?
Yeah, I think
you got one on there? Homeboy's jacked. Seriously, he's built. And he's 4. And he's already hitting the ball from the baseline with regular balls.
My 4-year-old is built the way...
I don't think it's on YouTube.
No, it is. You have a picture of him. My 4-year-old is built the way that I was built. So I think that he will go the same way.
You have to go to community.
There's a picture of him.
No, go back. I'll show you how to get there. You're going the wrong way. I'll speed it up for you. You got to go to YouTube, and then you have to get off here. Home. I'll get you there. Oh, shit. Oh, here we go. Right here.
He was going to get
I got you there. I got you there.
He got me.
I got you there.
Uh-huh.
And the picture will be on that list. I think you're looking for the one where he had the blondie hair, right?
Well, right here. I mean, you can see it. His legs right there. I mean, he's 4, and he's got legs already. I mean, you could see his legs. I mean, he's got it. That's how he's gonna. My dad's the same way, so he's gonna be built just like him.
He's 4 and he weighs as much as his 8-year-old sister, and picks her up like nothing, and he's 4.
Yeah.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, ready.
All right, any more comments? Is it?
That's it.
Good to go.
Yeah.
It's a fun show.
Yeah, we gotta go somewhere after this. So.
Yeah, we will.
I gotta go dress up.
we will see you guys tomorrow. Appreciate everything. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And that's it. Much love to everybody.
Yep. All right. Bye, guys.
See ya. Peace.